All right, and I'll do a little share screen. This will just take a sec.
Okay.
That's a good one. Everybody seeing that all right?
You should be seeing us right now.
Okay, good.
And
All right. So, you ready for this?
yeah.
Then let's do that.
So we're going to talk about Google Maps today. Mostly navigation, but we're open to questions too. And thank you for inviting us. I think the APCUG clubs are great. People who live near one and join are really lucky
We think so.
that
We know so.
yeah, they get to come and get together and learn about technology.
Right.
So have you had have you had a Google Maps before? Do you?
Well, no, he gave us an overview of all of the Google services, which he briefly touched on maps, but not very.
Yeah, we had a Google Services review,
Okay.
but not specifically on the.
Okay, got it. And I so this is going to be mostly about navigation, but we'll touch on other things as well. Turn by turn voice navigation. So I do want to ask a couple other questions of the group there. Are there any RVers in the group? Anybody who travels by RV?
We have a ex-RVer.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
That works.
All right. And then just travelers. I mean, do you use navigation?
Local or national or however, even international. Yeah. So
Yeah.
cool.
Was that a question or just a raised hand, Warren? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So next slide. So just a little bit about us. Oh.
You go right ahead.
Yeah. I'm Chris and
I'm
he's
Jim.
Jim. And we call ourselves Geeks On Tour.
Yes, we are geeks. We can prove it because we wear these silly propeller beanies. Another word for a geek is propeller head. So we wear these so we try not to take ourselves too seriously when we're doing these presentations. We want to have a little bit of fun here, and we rely on you guys to help us with that, right? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we've both been in technology for a long time, since the early 80s. She started when she was like 5 or 6. She had a computer training center here in South Florida and ran that. I worked for her in... Well,
He still works for me.
I still work for her, but
Yeah.
I started working in the business back in 93, so that's what we consider our anniversary stuff.
And one of the reasons we got together is because we both are just really passionate about technology. And with the advent of smartphones, technology has gotten so useful as we travel and in our daily lives.
Yeah.
We are travelers.
And we have been to all of the lower 48 states, most of them several times, and stayed. And now we do a lot more international travel because, well, we can.
And we could not do what we do without Google Maps. And last but not least, we are teachers. Mostly me. He's the real geek.
Yeah, I speak geek and she translates it for...
But that's what we've been doing since 1983. I have been teaching technology. Anybody remember WordPerfect?
There's always some hands going
Yeah,
up there.
there's usually.
She was one of the first 17 certified WordPerfect instructors in the world.
But because we were full-time RVers, I mean, we had no house. We just had an RV. That's what we lived in. We lived by Google Maps. All the time, every day, all the time. It was only because of Google Maps that we got where we're going. But because we're so accustomed to it, I use it around town too.
All the time.
I might know where I'm going, but if I don't have Google Maps telling me where to take a turn, I'll space out.
And a lot of times it'll help you avoid traffic local around town. So it's very handy for that if it can be done.
So we have been teaching as Geeks on Tour since 2007, and we make tutorial videos and we write about it, and it's all on our website at geeksontour.com.
Please go there and check it out.
Check it out.
And while you're there, sign up for the free newsletter. That way you'll get information from us, and we promise not to abuse your email address.
So what we're going to talk about today is some basics about navigating with Google Maps. And then there's this other thing that Google has called Google My Maps, where you can create your own. And I just have to show you that. We have this all laid out on our slides, and we have some videos linked in the slides, and you can review this slideshow and click on the links by going to our website, and I do want to show you that.
Okay.
So if you go to our website at, what's our website?
geeksontour.com.
geeksontour.com, and then scroll down until you see classes. When we deliver things like this over Zoom, we consider it a class. So you go to classes, and then on this page, we list all the classes that we do in chronological order. So you would find Pikes Peak on August 5 and click there, and you will see the slideshow that we're going to go through. And wherever there's a link to a video, it is a live link, and you can watch the video. Now, this will be public for a couple weeks, and then we put it under our paywall, our membership. Memberships are like $60 a year if you're interested. Okay, so that's how you can review this slideshow on your own anytime if you want. So to navigate, we're talking Google Maps, but as long as you have the app, you can use an iPhone or an Android phone. Google Maps comes pre-installed on most Android phones. On the Apple phone, you would need to download it from the App Store. Now, Apple has its own maps, and it's pretty good too, but we use Google Maps because we have both Apple and Android, and Google Maps works on both, whereas Apple Maps obviously only works on Apple. So
now, back in the old days when we were traveling in an RV, we had a standalone dash-mounted GPS.
Like a Garmin.
Yeah, Magellan, Garmin, TomTom, those types of things. And they were very useful on the road, but nowhere near as good as this stuff, right?
Yeah. Nothing is as current and as accurate and as complete as Google Maps. Now, your phone does have to have your location services on. I mean, it can't tell you where to go if it doesn't know where you are. I leave my location services on all the time so that I can use this. You do need an internet connection, either Wi-Fi or cellular. So if you're traveling, usually you're going to be using cellular. And so that means you need to be within range of a cell tower. Now, if you know that you're going to be traveling through areas where there is no cell service, you can download the map ahead of time. You know, you have to think about it ahead of time. But there is a way to download maps. In fact, I think the one time that happened to us was in Colorado.
Yeah.
Going across the Rockies. Of course, this was years ago. You might have good cell service everywhere now. But,
probably not.
But there was definitely some spaces through the Rockies where there was no
signal.
No signal.
We knew right where we were. There was a blue dot on a blank map.
On a blank white screen, right? It didn't have any map.
Not very useful.
Now, one thing I just always like to mention, an iPad mini, I think is just the perfect size for a GPS mounted to your dashboard. I love using my iPad for navigation with Google Maps, but not all iPads work. You must have the cellular capable. Not that it has to be connected to cellular. I mean, you can download the maps. But yeah, if you've bought an iPad lately, you know that there's about $100 difference between a Wi-Fi only iPad and a cellular capable iPad. You don't have to have cell service. You don't have to have a SIM card for it, but you do have to have that model because the GPS is on the same chip. At least that's how I understand it. I know the Wi-Fi only iPads don't work for navigation. They actually will approximate, but they're not
Accurate.
they're not accurate enough for real navigation. Now, if anybody has any questions, just go ahead. You know, I love questions, and you'll relay them to us, right?
And it looks like the laptop that's in the room is pointing at the ceiling. We don't see the audience any longer. So
Yeah, it just
tab.
got bumped or something.
Yeah, not sure. Okay. Anyway, we'll carry on.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
love to see our audience.
And thank you for setting that up. Yeah, it does.
That's beautiful.
It does help when we're doing remote things like this to see the audience.
Cool.
Okay.
I just want to make a comment as you go on. Anybody who's connected to the Wi-Fi, if you disconnect temporarily, just make sure you don't have interference with the
Ah, yes. Conserve your resources and bandwidth.
All right. So how do you start? You know, we're leaving the house. I want to go to my doctor's. That seems to be the main place I keep going these days.
Anybody else?
So what do I do? What do I do to get there? Well, there's 3 ways. You can speak the destination, you can type it, or you can tap it. Make sure that your travel mode is vehicle, and make sure that your start is your location. And let me show you what I mean, and then we also have a little video. First, I want to show you. So,
Whoa. See now, when you don't do these things in the beginning, it doesn't work.
okay. And you need to
Focus.
spotlight that or something, or you did?
There you go.
Okay, you should be seeing my phone now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is an iPhone too. I didn't ask that. Can you give me a count on how many iPhone users?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, and how many Android? 1 online.
Online, to a computer, using maps.
Okay,
Eileen, you have a question?
and she's probably raising her
Oh,
hand.
raising your
for-
hand. Okay.
Trying to raise my hand.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine. That'll work.
Very good.
Things going on right now.
Okay, got it. All right, so more iPhone than Android. Okay, I will show both during the course of the class, but maybe I will kind of focus on iPhone just so that you know. And so also, because I will focus on iPhone, let me clarify that we're not talking about. So this icon is what I call the Apple Maps.
Whoops. Why is there that there?
So
Make that go away.
that's the Apple Maps. I am not using, you can use that for navigation. It just works a little bit differently. This is the one that I use, the Google Maps. Okay. And it starts off, you can go to your location by tapping that little compass arrow. So that is where we are right now, the blue dot. Now, if I want to go to my doctor's office, it's called Healthy Partners, and I can type Healthy Partners. Or, yeah, see, how about, I'll go straight to the easy way. I'll tap the little microphone, Healthy Partners. That's a little easier. But all that does is just show it to me on the map. I asked it, show me Healthy Partners. There it is. If I want to go there, I need to get directions. And there are a few here. I need to make sure I'm going to the right one, but that is it. And the second little button here, it has a little crooked arrow. It means get me directions. And there are the directions. Now, why in the world does it say it's going to take 2 hours and 16 minutes to get there?
I think it's because you're walking there and it will take that long. Maybe longer in this heat.
Every once in a while, that gets me. I might have recently asked for walking directions to somewhere.
Or bicycle directions sometimes.
Or bicycle, yeah. Or public transportation. If you want driving directions, make sure that the driving little icon at the top is selected. Much better. It says it's going to take me 20 minutes. So that's just getting me directions. Now to actually go there, I tap Start.
Head east toward Oakland Shores Drive. Healthy Partners may be closed today.
All right. And it is going to give me turn-by-turn directions. Now, why? Because the start is your location. Okay. Now, there's an even easier way. I can go to just Google and say, hey, Google, navigate to Healthy Partners. All right. My Android phone is answering. So on my iPhone, I don't have the Hey Google thing set up, so I have to tap the microphone.
But everybody else's just went off too, so try not to do that again.
Okay. So here, just on Google, I'll tap the microphone. Navigate to Healthy Partners. And boom, it goes straight.
Head east toward Oakland Shores Drive.
It goes straight into giving me turn-by-turn voice directions. So that's the easiest, is just ask your phone. And if you have built in things, if you have told Google Maps what your home address is, for example, you can ask it, take me home. So from wherever you are, I use that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm wherever, and I just not sure what's the best way to get back home. Take me home, and it will start navigating.
Country roads.
Okay. Now, just to see if there was anything I left out, or for you to actually see the navigation in process, we have a little recording. This is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and this video is about navigating using Google Maps. Once you've opened Google Maps on your mobile device, the first step is to find your destination. You can type in the search bar, and if it gives you multiple results, just tap on the one that is correct. Then step 2 is to tap the little button that says Directions. It will show you some options. Make sure that your correct travel mode is selected and your starting point is your location. Then tap Start.
Head east toward Northwest 21st Avenue, then turn left onto Northwest 21st Avenue. In a quarter mile, turn left onto Northwest 39th Street. Turn left onto Northwest 39th Street. Continue for 1 mile. In a quarter mile, turn right onto Northwest 31st Avenue. Turn right onto Northwest 31st Avenue. In a quarter mile, make a U-turn at Northwest 50th Street, West Commercial Boulevard.
If you know a better way, you don't have to go the way that Google says.
Your destination is on the left.
Okay. So any questions or comments? Does anybody use that a lot or never?
Has anyone ever used this?
Yes, we have a couple of comments. The question is,
Google always sends you to the front entrance. Have you noticed that particular thing instead of maybe going the back way?
It always takes you to the front entrance. Well, that would be the normal thing. I get occasionally a prompt when it takes me to a location, when I get directions, and it will say, is this the best entrance for this building or for this doctor? Is the typical one. And that, for me, I can actually move the map around a little bit on my screen. Now, this is on the mobile app. And then I can pinpoint it and say, okay, this is the location that for the entrance that I need. But yeah, you're right.
Or, I mean, if you really do want to go to a specifically different location than Google Maps wants to take you, you can set your own marker and keep it and ask it to navigate you there every time. Would you like to see? Well, here, let me just show you real quick. So here is that Healthy Partners. That's where Google is taking me to. Let's say that I need to park over here, and that's a completely different set of directions than parking in front. I can just touch and hold on that spot. That drops a pin, and then I save that and save to, I'll just call it my favorites.
I have a doctor's list.
I'll call it my favorites, and I'll just say doctor. So from now on, I can ask Google Maps to navigate to doctor, and it will take me to that dropped pin.
Cool. Joe, you have your hand up there.
Yeah, I have an Android, but I just take it out and turn it on, or it's on, but I just say, Google, take me to this address, and I don't have to do anything else. It just goes.
And it works.
Exactly.
Seems like there's a lot of extra steps there that, of course, I'm always in the car, but, I'm not doing bike riding anymore. So.
Okay.
But,
right.
Yeah, it's always worked fine for me. I just,
And it's getting better and better all the time. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just asking it to take you is by far the quickest and easiest way.
Yeah. Or if I'm out lost somewhere, I say, Google, take me home. And
Yeah.
doesn't always go the route I want to go, but it'll get me there.
Yeah, and you don't have to follow the route.
No, I know.
Yeah, we have a slide. Is it on this one?
No.
No, okay. Where, it's a Jeep on a cliff, and it says the GPS is saying turn left now.
Oh, I forgot about that slide. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. But yeah, don't turn this off when you turn that on. That's the key. You ready?
There was another question?
Yes, one of the features I always like is that it will give you alternate routes when you look up the destination.
Yes.
And it tries to give you the one that has the shortest time, but sometimes if you click on the line for one of the other times, it'll reroute on that path. So if there's somewhere else you needed to stop on the way, or you just wanted to take a different path, or there's construction or an accident or something, you can create your own detour without it having to, if it doesn't know, without it having to figure out ahead of time.
Absolutely. That's
right.
a good point.
It gives you alternates.
It gives you alternates. And another thing that it's doing now, or just recently, is giving you the most economical route, depending on what you're driving. So.
Yeah, it gives you a little green leaf.
Yeah. Right.
But here's my favorite way.
She only has one.
Because I really like taking photos. And if you have set your phone to record the GPS location of a photo, then you can navigate to a photo. So I do that all the time. If I go somewhere, it may have been really hard to get there, or like the question about the back entrance, just take a photo of the back entrance and you can navigate to that photo. And here's a Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks On Tour, and I want to show you one of my very favorite features of Google Photos. I call it Navigate to a Photo. Step 1, you open up Google Photos and find the photo of the location where you want to go. We travel a lot by RV, and whenever we park at a campground, I take a picture of our site. Then, when we leave to go for grocery shopping or out to dinner, I know I can get back there. This is how you do it. You just swipe up on the picture, and you should see a map. If you don't see a map, that means that your camera was not set to record the location when you took the picture, and we have another video on that. Now you see I can just open in Maps. I can choose Google Maps or any other, and it's showing me on the map where this is. Now I can get directions and start. And I know that I'll be able to get back to that exact same site. Navigate to a photo using Google Photos. And yes, that is specifically a Google Photos tip. I mean, if you're only using the Apple Photos or the Samsung Gallery, I don't think that works. Not the last time I checked, there was no such feature in there.
It does not work.
Yeah.
I was going to say that really helps in mall parking lots.
Yeah,
It
just
does.
take a picture of your car.
Yeah.
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 Or restaurants and yeah, just or
The mall.
I use it for friends' houses too that are,
Obscure.
yeah. Okay.
Eddie?
Yep. And just you can mount your phone to the dashboard. That makes it very easy for it to be used as a navigation. And it was interesting. The RV that we rented when we went to New Zealand had a
special holder for the
tablet holder on the dashboard. So we used our iPad there, and I've never seen the same kind of holder in an RV here in the US, but that's great. And we like the magnetic.
Yeah, I like the magnetic one, the holders.
It's not like computers and floppy disks used to be. Magnets don't bother them. So you can
Use a magnet.
You can use magnetic holders. They're very convenient. All right. Can you use a computer for navigation? No. But you can get directions. You can even print them out. But your computer doesn't have GPS built in it.
Back in the old days, we used to have a GPS puck that you could plug into a USB port on your computer, and that would work. They don't see those anymore with the advent of the smart devices, the phones.
Yeah. But what you can do, I'm going to go to Google Maps on the computer here and just show you a couple of things. So, how do you get to Google Maps? There's no software to install on a computer. It's a website, maps.google.com. And now let's say we can just research. We're planning to travel this summer. We're going to be at a friend's place up in New Jersey, and we might want to go up north and see the fall colors. So I'm just trying to think, how far is it from our friends in New Jersey to the place we want to go in Maine? So I will click on where it says search and type in the first thing I know, which is Ship Bottom, New Jersey.
Anybody else know Ship Bottom, New Jersey?
I don't know, Coloradans.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ship Bottom, New Jersey.
At the South Jersey Shore, this is where I say I grew up, but I never did grow up, so.
And I will ask for directions. Now it's going to assume that I want to start at my location, but no, in fact, I want to start at Ship Bottom, so I'll click these little two-headed arrows to switch. We're going from Ship Bottom to Rockland, Maine.
They have a lobster festival up there.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun
cool.
to find that again?
It's
And-
over now.
And it gives us the directions. And it tells us that's 506 miles, 8 hours and 30 minutes. Well, we don't like to do more than a couple hundred miles a day.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to take 2 to 3 days for us. So good to know. And here are the alternate routes that you were talking about, the gray lines. If I say, I don't want to go through Stanford and Harvard. I just don't want to go that way. I'm willing to go a bit out of my way to avoid those. You click on the gray line and it changes your route to the blue line.
Besides, the George Washington Bridge to Queens is not very pleasant, and it's very, very expensive.
That's right. So we'll go all the way out of our way. And now it's telling me that's 8 hours and 51 minutes or 560 miles. So good stuff. And if your passenger who you depend on for navigation, if your navigator does not have a smartphone, is not a computer person, you can print these out. If you you choose one, and I never do this, so I forget where it is, but
Good.
you go to details, and there you can print there. So this gives you in writing the turn-by-turn directions, and you can print them out or send them to your phone. Okay. We will go on, but you can't use it for navigation. It just doesn't work on a computer.
And if you have it printed out, you can choose where to stop along your way as well, because you know each of the points or all the major points. So if it tells you your passing to a certain town.
Yeah, and the printout gives you an overall map plus a map at each turn.
And you can turn-by-turn instructions.
And turn-by-turn instructions. So getting help. Right in the app. So if you want to know anything, this new iPhone has face. I really preferred the fingerprint unlock, so I have to lift it up every time I want to unlock it rather than... Okay, so if I go back into Google Maps...
You can change that
Yeah, I know, and I've changed it back, and yeah. Okay.
enough times.
All right. So where is help? That's just... There used to be a question mark right on the screen. They buried it now under what I call the account button. So your little face or initials up in the upper right, and then scroll down, help and feedback. So this is great. Look up some tips and tricks. Planning future trips. Schedule a trip. You can tell it, you can plan a trip and say, I need to be there, or to your doctors, I need to be there at 2:00, and it will remind you and say, time to go, and then give you the directions. So help is always good. Continue learning. Route options. Yeah? Was there a question?
Yes, under the, when you ask for directions and it says the mileage and the time,
Yeah?
that's straight driving time. It doesn't count any gas stops or lunch stops or
Correct.
like that.
Correct.
You sort of figure out on your own a way, a factor to put in on that time factor that the law for gas stops is.
Right. We just do that, yeah, in our heads. We take the if it's from here to the doctor's, it is uncannily accurate. Or to a friend's house in the next city down, we can tell them we will be there at such and such a time. Yeah, if we're not making any stops. If you're making any stops, then you do just have to add that
It's 15 minutes for a food break and 30 minutes for a bathroom break.
Good to know.
Okay. You can tell it to avoid highways and avoid tolls and avoid ferries. I don't. I like ferries.
Yeah. It's like a houseboat when you have an RV.
Now, the one thing that we did need to avoid, it doesn't have. So we needed to avoid low clearances when we were in an RV. Google Maps does not know how high your vehicle is and will not take care of routing you appropriately. If you are in an RV that is a big one, we just have a little van now.
Yeah, we can go anywhere.
Yeah, so Google Maps is good enough for us now. Okay.
You're not in the slideshow.
I know, because I had hid that slide.
Okay. All right,
so here we have another video about when you're underway. What are the things that it shows you? How can you control the screen when you're underway? 761. Hi, I'm Chris Guld with Geeks On Tour, and along with my husband Jim, we've traveled by RV at least 30,000 miles all over the United States. Plus, we've rented vehicles in other parts of the world, and we always depend on Google Maps to get us where we're going. While you're underway navigating with Google Maps, you have some options. Let me show you how. I want to use Google Maps to navigate to our next destination. I open Maps. It knows where we are because I have location services on. I want to go to Ship Bottom, New Jersey. It goes to Ship Bottom, New Jersey, but now I want directions. The blue is its recommended directions. The gray is the optional. If I wanted to take the optional, notice the blue is taking a ferry. If I didn't want to take a ferry, I would just tap on the gray, it turns blue, and then I would start. But no, I rather like ferries. I want to go on that one. It tells me the amount of time, all sorts of information. I tap Start to start navigating. Now, while we're navigating, I have the choice to either hear directions or not, or only hear alerts only. I also have the choice to have the map designed as north is up or the way I'm facing is up. Generally, I like it to be in the way I'm facing. Other options you have, if at any time I want to see the entire route again, I can tap in the lower right and show a bigger part of the screen. If I want to get back to my current location, I just tap on Recenter. A lot of people don't realize that they can change the orientation. So I like giving that tip, and it's just a tap on that arrow to north up or direction of travel. Now, why? When you're following the turn-by-turn directions, you want the screen to be looking as you're looking. But if you want to get your bearings, where are we anyhow?
You can't get there from here.
And you want to pinch the screen and you want north up. So it's just very easy to go back and forth between direction follow me or north up. And so then what are all the other things? When you have Google Maps running, giving you directions, this is what your screen looks like. It's cutting off the...
Oh, okay.
And at the very top in green, it is showing you the next turn and how far it is. And if you tap there, it will go to the next, so you can see the next turn and the next turn if you want to get familiar with what's coming up, then the little magnifying glass, that is very handy. That is search. While you're navigating, when you tap search, it's just going to search along your route. It's not searching everywhere. So if you want to look for a gas station, it's not going to be showing you gas stations in cities nearby. No, it's only going to show you gas stations along the route that you're navigating. It'll also show you your next rest area, for example. You're wondering how far is the next rest area. So search along route, or restaurants. Then sound, on or off. Sometimes, especially when you have stopped at a gas station, it's saying, make a U-turn, go this way, get on. You can shut her up by turning off the sound. Just remember to turn it back on. And there's the follow north up or follow me. Report road issue. How many of you use Waze? Waze is a very popular alternative to Google Maps. First of all, you know that Google owns Waze, so they're really the same thing. They just have certain different design features. A lot of the things people like about Waze have come to Google Maps, such as there's an accident ahead, or there's an object on the road ahead, and it's this report road issue is how that gets in there. You can, that little triangle on the road that represents your vehicle, you can change that. You can make it be a cute little car if you want. We made it be a bus when we were in the RV. That's just fun. It tells you how fast you're going and what the current speed limit is. And
nobody pays attention to that, right?
Yeah. And it tells you how long until you reach your destination, what time you are estimated to reach your destination down there at the bottom. Just all sorts of good stuff. And if you want it to stop navigating, you just click that X. Now, when you reach your destination, you'll tap it. There'll be a done. So it knows that you're done navigating. But if you want to stop it at any time, you just tap the X. Okay. Oh, now here's one. There have been times that I don't remember exactly where I asked Google Maps to take us to. I've had somebody in an audience when we were teaching this say, if you don't know where you're going, you shouldn't be in a car. You know? But really, there are times that at the beginning of the day, I just tell it, take me to Atlanta. But we're really going to a specific place in Atlanta, and I have to look and say, did I enter the specific place yet, or is it still just taking us to Atlanta? Or did I type street, or did I type court? So here is the way to find out, without breaking out of your navigation, where... Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks On Tour, and this Google Maps tip is about how to see your final destination. Google Maps is actually navigating, and I don't remember where it's navigating to. All you do is swipe up from the bottom of the screen, and then choose directions. Now you're seeing all the list of directions. You might need to scroll down to the bottom. The last one is your destination. If you want to see it on the map, you just tap on that and you'll see exactly where Google Maps is taking you. And you guys might know that destination, right? It's not too far from you. I think it was south. All right. And yeah, end destination, you can just tap the X or wait till you get there and tap done. Okay. Has anybody used Google Maps or their maps to find directions on public transit? You know, this I don't have in the slideshow, but I just thought, you should. We're going to be in London in October.
Right. Google is flying her to London she's a product expert for Google Photos. So one of the perks of being a product expert, diamond level, by the way, is to go to these conferences I get to go along. I have to pay myself, but she needs somebody to carry the luggage. It works out. So that's the deal. We're going to London.
All right. But since we're not actually there right now, I can't show you directions.
What'd you do? You broke it.
So let me come back to where we are and just say if I want to go to Broward Center, Performing Arts Center, Broward Center for the Performing Arts, and I don't want to drive, I want to get directions, I want to take public transit. That's this second little button over here. See, that's supposed to look like a bus. And it says if I drove, it would take me 15 minutes. If I take public transit, it'll take me 43 minutes. But if I want to know, it tells me, first I have to walk to the bus station. Then I have to catch, if I choose that one, it tells me specifically, walk a half a mile to pick up the bus at Northwest 31st in Oakland Park, and then get off at that one and walk. So this is very useful in London. It will be very useful in London for us.
Yeah, we have a friend who was just there recently last month, and she used this a lot. And sometimes it worked great, and sometimes not so much. That's one of the things about this technology. When it works, it's great, right? Okay.
And then, this is, since we started a little bit early, we have a little bit more time. Can you find the video?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, stop it. The video for walking directions. As long as we've now shown you driving and public transit, I want to show you walking directions too. And this really helps in London, or where we last used it was in Rome. And there are no street signs in Italy, I swear. They don't believe in street signs.
All right.
So, do you see? It's in the folder.
All right. Give me a chance.
Okay. And it will not only give you walking directions, but it will, if you move your phone up, and that's what this video shows, it will actually show you the view in front of you and put on-screen display of where you should go in the view in front of you. It's just amazing.
Which one?
Augmented reality. Walking directions 590. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks On Tour, and this little video is about a new feature in Google Maps which gives us augmented reality when using walking directions. Take a look. Here's Google Maps. I've entered my destination and I've selected walking as my travel mode. The blue dot is me, and as I turn, the blue light indicates the way I'm facing. That helps me know which direction to go, but watch this. When I tap on Live View and lift the phone, it sees my real-time surroundings, and using augmented reality, it places these big blue arrows right on the screen to let me know which way to walk. This is just so cool. It tells me it's not safe to keep the phone up in front of my face the whole time. Put it down, and it goes back to regular navigating view. But anytime I need more help, I just lift up the phone, it sees my surroundings, figures it out, and puts the augmented reality right in front of my face, like a heads-up display. That is useful. We used it. Yeah.
And it's getting so much better. Just even around here, it's...
New York City, we used it.
Yeah, and we will again.
Yeah. I understand that their first design of this was to put a little fox, I think it was, a little fox jumping,
running around in front,
running ahead of you and turning the corner, and so you're supposed to just follow the fox.
Yeah, and he'd turn around and say, "Follow me, follow me." A lot of fun.
I think they decided that was
Too cute.
too cute, and people wouldn't put the phone down, and they'd
walk into traffic. It's not a good thing.
Walk off a curb, Okay, so that's it for Google Maps navigation. Any questions before I show you a little bit about making your own maps?
I like to use, sometimes I'm in a place where I've used maps to get to my destination, but as I'm leaving, I'll look around and say, I wonder where that road goes. And I like to pull up maps and just trace where some other path goes, just to see if there's something interesting that way without having to actually drive down it, get lost.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Other comment is, this, for planning vacations or planning trips, this has pretty much replaced the old triptych feature of AAA used to give you. We can still go to AAA and get those, but I still have AAA for roadside assistance, so just in case. But do you guys use any sort of roadside assistance along this?
We do. We use it's from the Family Motor Coach Association. The organization is where we get our emergency road service.
We have had to have our 30-foot RV towed, and we were very glad that we had emergency road service.
More than one. So
yeah,
the 14 almost years. So go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
Nope.
Another one?
Just checking.
Nope. I've never been to Alaska.
Have we ever been to Alaska?
Not in the RV. We have been to Alaska. She grew up in Alaska.
I grew up there, so I'm not interested. I won't take him. I was there in the 1964 earthquake.
You're that old?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. So, and we drove the Alaska Highway, 1,500 miles of dirt road when we were on it. We did it 5 times during the 7 years that we lived there. So people love RVing to Alaska. We have a lot of friends who have done it.
And we have some friends there right now, actually.
Yeah. But nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay.
Ready?
So, what is Google My Maps? Well, Google Maps, you can use a computer browser, and I showed you just a little bit of it. And it is accurate roads, restaurants, all sorts of businesses, all sorts of information that you can research anything you want. That's what Google Maps is. And on a mobile device, all the same information for research, plus it'll navigate. Now, what it doesn't do, well, what Google My Maps is much better at is making your own permanent maps, keeping files of your custom maps. They can be places that you want to go. They can be places that you've been. They can be just places that you're researching. You want to keep a list and see it on a map. Once you make a map, they are stored at Google My Maps. And that's the different icon. It's a red square rectangle with the map icon on it. And this is PC only. What I'm going to show you has to be done on a computer. It cannot be done on a phone.
Or a Mac.
Or a Mac, yes. Windows.
It uses a browser.
Windows. It's browser-based.
Not
okay.
Windows.
What did I say?
That's not Windows.
Right. I meant...
Computers.
What do I meant? What's the web browser?
Chrome.
Chrome. Chrome is the web browser that I use, yeah. See, I told you, he's the real geek. Sometimes I mistranslate. Okay. So we use My Maps to record. Let me say, we were full-time RVers for 14 years, so I like to just go look at a map and see where did we go that year. So this is our year 2013, and I can just look at that map and see where we went. Now, I just think this is too fun. We keep all of them on our blog. If you go to our blog, geeksontour.blogspot, and I have a page called Our Maps. So this was, God, so touchy. This was our 2021. And notice that every stop you can add photos. So this is a complete memory of our travels that year. Every stop, and you can have different icons for the different stops. So this is one where we were giving a class, giving lots of classes. It was an RV rally in Gillette, Wyoming, and there's a photo of us giving a class. This one has a martini glass. I wonder what that was. Oh, that was the Harvest Host.
Get rid of that side.
Yeah. Okay. And this is where we stayed at this Harvest Host. So you can put markers and photos and lines and discussion. Each one can say a bunch of stuff. RV rally. All right. So how do you make such a map? So we're going on a cruise to Hawaii next January. And
anybody want to come?
Yeah, we have the information is all on our website, geeksontour.com/Hawaii. If it looks interesting and you want to join us, that'd be great. But
we have a group.
So the ship stops in 5 different ports, and I want to get kind of a head start on building my map, and then I can see very clearly where we're going. And as we go there, I'll add pictures, I'll add other markers, and when we're done with the trip, that will be a complete memory of the trip. So I go to mymaps.google.com. And here are all the maps that we've made. I click on Create a New Map, and I will give it a title. And I'm just going to say Hawaii.
I'm fine, thank you.
And then you start by searching a location, and then you add a marker. So we pick up the boat in Honolulu. And it looks like, and I'm sure we'll be able to figure out where the ship is when we get there. I don't need to be real accurate here. I'm just going to put a marker. I'm just going to drop a marker. This looks like it's by a port, and say port 1, Honolulu.
Hoo-hoo.
All right. And then port 2 is in Maui. Oops, and I clicked on Maui Brewing Company.
That sounds good to me.
So it's fully Google Maps underneath. This has all of the information that Google Maps has. But you add your own markers and make your own map. So it didn't get there. It's Maui. And it's Kahului, actually, is where where Norwegian Cruise Line. There we go. Now, I could just use its marker, but I don't, because I want it to have my title on it. I don't want it to say Norwegian Cruise Line. I want it to say port number 2. So I will click this little guy and add my own marker right there and say port 2. And I could put dates in here. I can type all sorts of stuff in this description, and I can add photos here. But that's all I'm going to do. And when I am done, it's been saving all along. I mean, if you use any of the Google web-based products, you know that you don't have to save the whole thing. It's being saved every step of the way. So I can leave this now, and if I go back to my maps, I will now see the map called Hawaii and what I've started there, and I can continue to build it. So that's just the very, very basics. Now we do have a video that goes into just a little bit more.
Which one?
585. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and this tutorial video is about making your own map. When you're researching places to go and places where you can stay nearby, do you use a lot of maps like we do? I use Google Maps, Our Village, All Stays, RV Parky, and Road Trippers. I want to collect my information all in one map. So in Google Maps, I have saved the club locations where we are booked to speak. We're in Chicago area right now, and here are the 2 places that we need to be this week. All Stays is my go-to site for finding county parks and other good overnight parking for RVs, but on this map I can't see where our gigs are. Our Village is great for looking up Elks Lodges. We like parking at Elks Lodges as we travel. So my solution is to make my own map where I can put everything in. I use Google My Maps. I can make the markers custom, set the colors, and save my map. Let me show you how. Step 1 is to go to mymaps.google.com and make sure you are logged in with your account. If you've ever made any other maps, you will see them here. We're going to create a new map. It's good to give your map a title right away. First, I want to put in the places that we need to be, and I know that the first one is Glenside Public Library. I can search for it using Google My Maps. It will find it, and I could just add this marker to map, but I don't want to mark the Glenside Public Library. I want a marker that says the name of the computer club we'll be visiting. So I click on Add a Marker. I click right on the public library and then give it a name. And I save that marker. Now I can search for the next place. Naperville City Hall. Add my own marker and give it a name. Now, I don't like that it just has this blue teardrop standard marker. I want it to stand out more. So over here in the left side panel, I can click the little paint can. I can make that be, I think I want it just to be a black marker. And I can choose an icon from the list here. I want it to look like a meeting. I'm going to choose these 3 stars and OK. And I want this other one to look the same. Next, I want to add the campgrounds that I found that look like possibilities. I can search for the name of the campground that I found. In this case, I can just add the Google marker. I want the website and the phone number, so I'll just click Add to Map. But now look over here on the left. That campground has been added to the same layer as our gigs, and it's really a different layer. I'll show you. Instead of Untitled, I'm going to call this layer Gigs. Now I want a new layer for places to stay. Add layer, places to stay. Now this Blackwell Family Campground really belongs in this other layer. I can drag that down. It's a little bit tricky. You got to make sure to get a hold of it, and then you can drag it down to the other layer. And let me change that icon so it looks like a campground. We'll make it green. and a tent. Now let's add an Elks Lodge. I can search for Elks Lodge 2254, which is what I found in my other map. But this is another case where I don't want to use the marker that came from Google. I don't want the details from Google. I want to put my own details. So add a marker, click here, give it a name, and I can add notes and even a link from the source that I got the information on this Elks Lodge. I want a custom icon for that. So I click the little paint bucket, and I'm going to make this one purple, and I want an icon that maybe looks like an elk. How about a deer? Close enough. Now, in one glance, I'm just zooming out by using my scroll wheel. In one glance, I can see where we need to be, where the campground is, and where the Elks Lodge is. And now it's clear that this campground is the closest place to go. Two more things to show you about Google My Maps. One is that you can change the underlying map, the base map. See how it's still kind of hard to see my markers on here because of the way this map is. If I click on base map, I can choose a lighter, simpler base map so that my markers really stand out. The second thing to show you is, why did I insist on having 2 layers? Well, sometimes I just want to see where we need to be, not about our choices of where to stay. You just uncheck the box for one layer and it disappears. Check it or uncheck it to make it appear or disappear. Very handy, especially when you end up with lots of markers. And that's how you make your own map using My Maps. From now on, any map you've created will be in mymaps.google.com as long as you're logged into your account. There's the map that I just made. So, any questions on that? Anybody ever use such a thing or thought about making their own map?
You're muted.
Still muted. There we go.
Okay,
That's good.
yeah. I'll use that in the future. That's really nifty.
It's very handy. It's a lot of fun too. It really is.
Yeah. And really, once I have several videos on how to do things, and once you learn how to put photos in those, and you can share them. So instead of sending emails every day to your family to tell them where you are and what you're doing, or instead of sending this whole 300 photos, you can send them the map. They see exactly where you are, where you've been. Click on a link and see whatever photos you chose to share with that. I love them. So this year, we're home a lot this summer, but in February and March, we did a really exotic trip. We went on a scuba diving trip in Indonesia, and I haven't made my map yet. And I still will. I like using my maps and making my specific map.
Oh, I think you should do it right here in front of them. It should only take a couple of days.
It'll only take 30 seconds the way I'm going to show them right now.
Oh, okay.
And that's with timeline. Let's say this was back in February and March. I didn't get around to making the map. I don't even know that I'm positive where we went. Google knows where we went.
Because of settings that are private.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
If you have location history turned on your Google account, then if you're in your Google account and you go to Google Maps, you can see the timeline. Let me show you. So this is the custom map that I just made. So is that one. If I just go to Google Maps, that's this one. and I'm logged in as my account. I click the 3-line menu and timeline. This starts out showing me all the places I've ever been since Google has been watching me. See, we didn't lie that we've been all over the United States. And we've been a few places in Europe. And here is where we were in Indonesia this year. How do I see just this year? I can click this arrow over here and choose 2023. I can even choose just February. And it shows me, I'll zoom in over here. It shows me where we were in February. Now, if you pick one particular day, it will show you your travels. So I think it was March 7 or 8 where we came back home. So let me try March 7, see where we were on March 7. Nope, on March 7 we were still in Bali, but it looks like we went from our hotel to the airport. So my point is, if you choose just one day, you will see whatever route you might have taken in that day. If I go to March 8th, then there. That's the fun one. That was 28 hours.
It was a long one, yeah, that's for sure.
That was long.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do it again, but once we got back, we decided that maybe we will do it again. It was a lot of fun.
Go to the other side of the world one more time. Okay, so and timeline can have some very practical benefits. I do seem to be talking about doctors a lot. I mean, I often want to go to a chiropractor to get a kink unkinked, and we were in Arizona somewhere, and a place that we had stayed before, and I remembered visiting a chiropractor. I was able to pull up timeline and find where exactly that chiropractor was and go back to it. So, and we did the Hawaii cruise demo, make your own map, and here's information about timeline.
Well,
so did you learn something?
I always learn something when we do this. But we have some questions for you. Go ahead and shout out what you think the answer is. If not, we'll make her answer. In order to navigate, you must have A, mobile device, B, Google Maps app, or C, an internet connection.
All of the above.
Very good. All of the above, yes.
There are 3 ways to start Google Maps navigating to a particular destination. 1, by voice saying the destination. 2, by typing, searching for the destination. Or 3, how?
Actually, I mentioned this, but I didn't actually do it. You can just tap on the screen. If you see where you want to go, you can just tap on the screen and navigate there.
Somebody answered that one.
Oh, very good. And then there actually was one more for extra credit. What is the 4th way?
Ask your navigator.
A photo.
Navigate to a
You're right.
navigate to a photo. And once you've done that and you remember to do it again, it really is cool.
If you have somebody else's photo and it has the location data, you can do it with somebody else's photo.
If it has the location data.
Most of the time, location data gets stripped when
it's shared. Yeah.
But that's possible, sure. Get help. Get to help by A, shaking the phone. B, tap help at the bottom. C, tap account button, then help and feedback. Or D, ask Chris.
C. So we want it to be A.
We would like it to be A. Yeah, but you want to shake it around the throat, usually is the... All right, true or false, north is always up on the map. False. You can change it to your direction of travel.
It's your choice.
So to make your own map, use Google what maps? My Maps. Cool.
Yay. Okay.
That's it. Well, where'd we go? There we are. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. Thanks for watching.
Where's the music coming from? There, okay.
And where am I? There we go.
There was one other trick I like to use that you didn't mention there. There's the aerial view or map view that you can pull up on Google Maps. And sometimes when I get close to my destination, I like to pull up the aerial view just to see if there's any landmarks I can look for.
Absolutely.
Add that.
Oh, it is in. We do have another video on that. I think you're talking Street View.
Street View, yes.
Street View is what it's called. And yes, at any point you can ask Google Maps show you Street View if you're in an area that has it, which
the blue lines.
Most everything
pretty much
in the public
everywhere
does.
now, yeah. And a lot of
another setting that will give you the aerial map view.
yeah.
So
And then there's a satellite view as well.
the satellite view, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, very, very useful, and it just keeps getting more so. You know, I just couldn't live without it.
You ever tie that in with Google Earth as well? If you're planning a trip to see if there's someplace you might want to stop on the way?
Yeah, we have in the past to see if there's going to be a place that we could get the big RV in to park. We would use Earth for that. And I really got into Google Earth for a while, and then I kind of...
Well, the thing, we
went
used to
away.
teach whole classes in Google Earth, but this was 15 years ago. Google Maps has continued to get so better and better and better and better. that
Google Earth is...
Google Earth is really fun,
It is. It is cool.
but it
We
doesn't.
know a guy that used to he would take Google Earth and plan out his whole day driving in Google Earth. And this is before Street View was even available, but he would know, and most of the time you could even read signs, you could see how, the clearances, things like that. But he was obsessive.
Okay.
Anything else that we can do? It was great. Thank you for inviting us. We hope you enjoyed it. We would like you to check out our website and sign up for our newsletter if you can. And
Can they repeat how we can look at today's presentation?
Okay, can you give us the link again for today's presentation?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I'll show you.